All right, YouTube, this is Detroit's HPTV. Coming to you out of Detroit with another video. And this is a serious video. I did a video yesterday, and in the video, I was talking about how the National Guard being in D.C. was going to save lives. Ultimately, if it saved one person's life or prevents one person from getting carjacked, then it's worth it. What do you think? If it saves people's lives and keeps people safe, is it worth it? You should have seen the outrage coming towards me from black people. Now, I'm from Detroit, born and raised in Detroit, never been called a race traitor or the names that they were trying to call me. But I didn't get offended because I know that people who talk the way they talk aren't going to do nothing, because you're giving a warning. You're signaling to your enemy that you're coming. And if your enemy knows you're coming, guess what he's going to do? He's going to prepare for you, or he might come get you first. Now, that may be a strange statement, but watch the rest of this video, because the Democratic Party has become the biggest threat to not only democracy, but to the world. These sore losers are trying to race bait this country into conflict, racial conflict. And they want to use the black community as ground zero. They want to rabble-rouse us to the point to where we are saying and talking crazy as if we have enough unity and enough weapons to fight any army. You better play the whole tape out in your mind. If you're ready to lose your life, your property, your children, and everything, you follow the way that these Democrats are trying to lead you. They're trying to lead you into conflict with the government. But this is not the first time they did it. I told you guys to look up the Black Belt Theory, which was a communist plan to stir up the black community so that the black community would raise up and fight the government. And while the government was crushing our communities, the communists was going to sneak in the back door and try to fight the United States. Now, people have a lot of grievances, respectably so. But when you look at who's telling you that you're oppressed and angering you and getting you in your feelings to where you talk crazy, to where you actually think that you can fight the Navy SEALs, the Army, and the Air Force, they setting you up. It's a setup. Because guess what? A lot of you guys don't even realize it's going to be your neighbor that turn you in or gun you down, because they don't like liberalism. They don't want their children transgendered. They don't want to pay for transgenderism in prisons. They don't like that ideology being taught to their children. They don't like termination of pregnancy to the 8th month, and they will fight you alongside the government, because the liberal left has become so anti-God, so anti-family, so anti-nuclear family, so anti-black man, that no one but beta males will stand with them. So it's almost like they tone deaf and they can't read the temperature. They see how Kamala was rejected. They see how everything they were pushing was rejected. But what the thing is, they tell you they're gonna take your Section 8 and your bridge card and cut your benefits. But it's the left telling you that. And they're telling you Trump is the devil. White men are your enemy. But these people are tethers. These people are from Guyana, like Joy Reid, Haiti, like Roland Martin. These people are not even Americans. They're first generation people who came to this country to pursue the American dream and seen the weakness in our communities and exploited our communities and became powerful, became lobbyists. You got Zoran Mandami, an Islamic socialist, about to be mayor of New York. You got Omar Fateh in Minneapolis. You got Rashida Tlaib in Detroit. You got all these foreign nationals and foreign agents in position in government, rabble-rousing you to rise up against your government so that the government can spend their time crushing you while communists and Islamists sneak through the back door and attack. But the thing about it is, the government knows this. The CIA knows this. The feds knows this. They're watching every text, every phone call. Everything is under surveillance. They know where you are. They know what you're saying. They know how anti-government and how anti-God you are. The militias are practicing, target practicing in the woods, upstate Michigan, everywhere, because they're preparing for what's to come while you talk, while you insult, while you say all these things that indicate that you are an enemy. And if anybody who's a real, true person, you don't never tell your enemy what you're thinking. But they love to tell the enemy, who they consider or call their enemy, what they think. They love to say it's fascism. They love to play the race card because they want you in your feelings, because you are the fifth column that the communists and the Islamists wanted. You see all these black men that want to stand with Islam and the Muslims as if they don't realize that the Arabs started the slave trade. They tell you that they want to sue the government for reparations, even though they know Africans sold Africans into slavery. So the reparations should start globally. But they just want you in your feelings. They don't want you to think. This is why you are on the same party, the Democratic Party, that upheld slavery, that created Jim Crow, created the Ku Klux Klan, still deny you the benefits after you vote for them. They despise you. They're playing you as a patsy. They want you to be the first ones to fall when they initiate whatever plans they got, because Joe Biden already let all those sales across the border. And do you think the Arabs are really the friends of black people? They're not. Arabs hate you more than you say the white man does. These foreign countries, they can't stand the black American, especially the black man. And you want to get in your feelings every time somebody brings up 400 years ago. But you don't even realize that's just rhetoric to use you as the crash dummy to go against the most powerful military to ever walk the face of this earth. So when you see SWAT outside your door, the National Guard in your streets, Navy SEALs hunting you down, drones taking you out, it'll be too late to say you didn't mean it, because you mean it right now. Right now, while you in your feelings, you mean it. You hate Trump, you hate the government, you hate everything. But you ain't ready to fight. They was talking about me so bad in my comments, I was like, what you gonna do? Stop talking about you oppressed. Either fight or run. Choose one. Choose a struggle. Either choose to fight or choose to run. If you ain't going to do neither, shut up. Because ain't nobody going to cry over you dissidents, you seditious traitors, you fools that blindly follow the Democratic Party, who are sore losers and are edging you on and playing on your emotions and playing on your despair to get you to come into the street and stand up to the most powerful military that ever walked this planet. With a man at the helm that'll pull that trigger. So if you want it like that, then pop out. Other than that, shut up, because ain't nobody going to be crying when they come round you up. You know you are surveilled. You know your text and your conversations are heard and recorded. This government has more surveillance than they ever had since before J. Edgar Hoover and the COINTELPRO. Their surveillance is A1. They're listening to you. They know what weapons you have in your house. Why do you think they come with tanks now to your house? Because you seditious and you talk like traitors. You're protecting the criminal element, which is just what they did in Russia when the communists took over Russia. The Bolsheviks who were intelligent, they manipulated the criminals. They manipulated the people who thought they were oppressed and used them to fight. And then as soon as it was over and the communists took over, they lined them up against a wall and executed them. That's what's going to happen to you if you're not careful. They'll use you to go up against your government, and then when it fails and your government puts the noose around your neck and hang you or take you to some dark site and waterboard you to find out what else you know, what you going to do? Then you're going to be talking about your civil rights. Then you're going to be talking about your constitutional rights and the Fourth Amendment. It'll be too late then, because these people are playing on you. They're making you emotional. They're making you say things you have no business saying out loud unless you're going to do something. I was taught that as a young man. When I was a young man in the streets, the old heads told me, man, don't never tell nobody what you gonna do. Either do it. Either do it or shut up. Because while you woofing, somebody will come for you. And when they come for you, you ain't ready and haven't done all that talking, they don't want to hear it. We know our communities is war zones with black-on-black crime. And you got these Democrats and these liberals telling you, wait a minute, y'all should turn your hostility on the government too. But see, these young people, they've tuned that out. They not protesting. They got their own agenda. It's you so-called woke ones, you so-called conscious ones, who so dissatisfied that you want to criticize and slander and fight verbally to think you can beat the best formed military to ever walk this planet. And guess what? They in position to handle you. They in position to handle you. But you know where it's coming from? These dissidents. And without further ado, I want you to watch these two clips. And I want you to see how they use these so-called black people who are foreigners, from Haiti and Guyana, who use the black American struggle to foment their hate for this country. They use our history, our traumas, our legacy, and pervert it and use it as a weapon to attack the citizens of this country. And this is a warning, because I know a lot of y'all gonna get in the comments and you're gonna say this, that, I know good and well it doesn't matter to me, because you're not gonna run up on me, period. Period. Especially not running up on me talking, because you have proven yourself to be enemies And we all know how you're supposed to treat an enemy. But you think it's all a game. You running with scissors. And it's all fun and games until somebody get their eye put out, if you know what I mean. So without further ado, I'm going to show you these clips. And I want you to listen to how they talk. And how they want you to think that you stand a chance. The Democratic Party lost the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court, and the presidency. They have zero power. The only power they have is to manipulate you into civil unrest and hope that the country collapse under the weight of anarchy and chaos so that the globalists can bring order. Out of order comes chaos. The Democratic Party is owned by the globalists, the Illuminati, Rothschilds, Bilderbergs. These people want this country under their foot. And the only way they can do it is to destroy it from within. And I'm going to show you the people they're using to destroy this company from within. So without further ado, this is for fair usage under the 1976 Copyright Act for education and commentary. Now you listen to these people. Listen to how they talk. And Joy Reid, when you watch this, look, she's right with an Arab. Look at the Arab.
And it's time for Lefties Losing It. And she's back, the diabolically dumb and delusional Joy Reid, who sadly was sacked from MSNBC. Even they got sick of her endless race baiting, and that's precisely what Joy is doing again. Listen to this nutty rant about, you guessed it, white people.
They can't fix the history they did. Their ancestors made this country into a slave hell. But they can clean it up now.
I'm going to finish this, but I want you to know, first off, she's not a black American. She's Guyanan. And the man sitting next to her is an Arab named Wajid Ali. No black man, no foundational black American is saying this. These foreigners are leading you into a trap. They hate you. They hate you too.
Now, because they got the Smithsonian, they can get rid of all the slavery stuff. They got PragerU, they can lie about the history to the children. They can't.
Why does an Arab and a Guyanan feel so inclined to talk about the foundational black American experience? Why are they race baiting us?
Originally invent anything more than they ever were able to invent good music. We black folk gave y'all country music, hip hop, R&B, jazz, rock and roll. They couldn't even invent that, but they have to call a white man the king because they couldn't make rock and roll. So they have to stamp the king on a man whose main song was stolen from an overweight black woman.
Oh, she wasn't done yet. Brace yourself, because Joy is about to turn up the lefty lunacy to new levels. See if you can keep up with this stream of insanity.
When you invent a country where you don't tell white people that they need to innovate, even Elon Musk didn't invent them damn Teslas. 2 other men invented it. He just bought it. And so when you tell them you don't have to be excellent, you just have to be white, you will get mediocrity. You will get mediocrity because they're not asking white people to be great. They're not asking them to be great. They're telling them you can be the opposite of great and be defense secretary. You can be the opposite of great and be Homeland Security Secretary. They're telling white people a lie so that they will believe that they have achieved when all they're doing is thieving greatness from other people. And I actually think that is a shame for white America, because if you raised your kids that way, you would get brats, you would get monsters, you would get demons you don't even want at Thanksgiving.
Yes, those demonic white children you want to avoid at Thanksgiving. Joy reckons white folk are just thieving, underachieving brats and monsters. Surely she can't get any crazier than that, or more abhorrently racist. But she can, and she will. We save the worst for last.
We're raising an America that is mediocre on purpose because we don't want to tell Donald Trump that he is a failure. But he is.
Yeah, that mad cackling really was the cherry on.
Now this is from Australia, keeping up with this news. I want to show you one more because y'all laugh and giggle when they put these so-called black people out and they very disrespectful. But then guess what? When them 9 black women got unalived up in New York, when they walk into your churches and smoke you because they take you serious, they really think that you hate them. They really think that you want war. So they go get their AR-15s and their Kevlar vests and they catch you at the grocery store. They catch you at a club. They catch you somewhere and they mass attack you. Then there's no answer. Then the Roland Martins and the Joy Reids are quiet. They don't say anything about when you get hit like that. And then there's no response because they know that most of you black people, black Americans, my people, y'all ain't gonna do nothing but something to each other. That's the problem. That's why they don't never want you to talk about black on black crime, because they want to keep you in that mode. They know you will not do anything to but each other. And y'all know it's true. White person can walk through these neighborhoods and don't be touched, when the same people that live in that community can't walk to the corner store. Yeah, this is the truth. Now, I want you to check out my next clip, Roland Martin, the Haitian Democratic plant. Always trying to identify with foundational black Americans, when all the time, he's just a foreign national making money off trauma, monetize your pain and your history that he don't even have a connection to. Listen to this fool.
Do not buy Solana when you could potentially get in on the next Solana for.
And it wasn't until
Prophetess Etna Johnson Sneed, I was talking to her, and she said, Roland, let me be clear, touch not my anointed. She said, when you know you are doing what God's will is, she said, I dare those to try to come after you because they're touching.
He said, the anointed. He dared those to come at you. Y'all think y'all anointed? Responsible for over 25 million termination of pregnancies since Roe v. Wade. 25 million. This is why we still a minority. Rainbow flags, transing your children, no nuclear family, just women raising bad kids and turning them loose in the street. But you anointed. God don't see those terminations of pregnancy. God don't see the fornication, adultery, the alcoholism, the drug abuse, the blasphemy. As a whole, they've been turned their back on God and country. But he want to tell you that you're anointed. Some guy got in my comments last night talking about we the chosen people. God is not going to choose no people that keep terminating the fruit of their womb, destroying the lives of their brothers, changing their gender, men wearing dresses. You think that's anointed? That's how sick you is. That's how sick you is. That you think you can kill the fruit of your womb, let your kids change their gender, lie, steal, cheat, and do everything else, and still maintain an anointing. You being played on. You being duped. You being hoodwinked and bamboozled. These people hate the foundational black American. And I'm not talking about the government. I'm talking about the Democratic Party. They've always been your enemy, and they're gaslighting you. And they're using people who look like you. They're playing identity politics because they're so mad that they would rather see this country fall and be destroyed than to come up with a better ideology.
God's anointed. And see, there are a lot of our people who are afraid. Y'all, at the top of this show, y'all heard me vigorously push and prod and challenge my frat brother, Ron Reynolds, the chair emeritus of Texas Black Legislative Caucus. And see, when I was speaking about that, and people were asking me, somebody say, man, well, where all this come from? I said, it come from my grandparents, it come from my mama and daddy. I said, but it come from ancestors. And see, I think about that certain scene in Selma. Yeah. When Carmody Jogo, playing Coretta Scott King, was preparing to meet with Malcolm X, and she was afraid. And then Lorraine Toussaint, who played the woman who called Dr. King to come to Selma, Amelia Boynton, when she had some words for her. And we're going to end the show with this, because, see, I need every single one of y'all watching to listen to these words that Ava DuVernay wrote in that movie. And she should have forced the hand of that white writer to say, no, it's going to be a co-writing credit on this movie, because he didn't write these words. I need everybody who's scared. I need everybody who's afraid. I need everybody who's unsure. I need everybody who's like, I don't know, man, I ain't like you. I don't know. I need you to listen to this, because these words, and I was this way before the movie, but these are the words that resonate in my soul every single day. It causes me and others to say, no, we ain't backing down from this fight. I need y'all to listen to this.
I'll tell you what I know to be true. It helps me in times when I'm feeling unsure. If you'd like.
Please do, Miss Boynton.
I know that we are descendants of a mighty people who gave civilization to the world.
I'm going to stop right there, because I don't know if they strike that video for just showing that little part of the movie. But I'm showing you how they're playing with your emotions. And they're telling you to fight. But you're not going to ever see them on the front line. Ever. They want to sacrifice you. Because the globalists and people like Soros is giving them money and giving them an exit out of this country. You see Rosie and Ellen and how they're leaving early? They have an exit plan, an exit strategy, if they can get you to go to war with your government and your neighbors. You got Maxine Waters and the rest of them calling for civil war. Civil war. Tell me y'all not that slow. That you actually want to sacrifice your lives, your children, and your future for these pawns, these democratic shields, these liars, these foreigners who want your government to fall. That's why they'll say somebody that's a conservative is a Tom, or they'll call you all kind of names. But then you ask them, what part of the Democratic Party do you like? You like the idea of transgendering children, rainbow flags over the White House, termination of pregnancy to 8 months. What part of their program do you like? What part of their demonic, wicked program do you like? Can't y'all see? The Democratic Party is wicked. They have become 100% wicked. They are enraged. And they want to use Black America as the fall guy. And if you don't wake up, or if you feed off into it, then you might end up going the way of the illegals to places like Guantanamo Bay. Ain't that what they told you that Trump was going to do? And you want it to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, this is Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. Like, share, and subscribe. Keep your head on a swivel. And salute to all patriots. Peace.